Children family, what's up, man? USCJ here with some big time news. Listen, I just finished listening to USC's press conference with the USC Athletics YouTube channel. They both have it. You guys can go back and take a look at it. But listen, Lynn made a comment about the defensive line that I think it caught everybody off guard. I think it even caught Connor Morrisite, who was actually asked Lynn the question in reference to the defensive line. He was talking about the defensive line and, comparing and contrast with the UCLA defensive line. And he basically wanted to know, this is not verbatim, he basically wanted to know how far is the USC defensive line compared to UCLA's defensive line. And that was a very important question, given the fact that they finished out with the top 10 total defense. You guys know they were like 89th last year. And Lynn had that defense finishing out in the top 10 and very effective on the defensive line. You guys know it. We wanted one of their guys, actually, Jay Toya, was hoping that he would come. But, you looked at some of the guys, the misses that we had in the transfer portal, and I told you guys, I said, look, these coaches know something that we don't know. And Lynn answered the question. He said that USC's defensive line has more depth than UCLA's team from last year, the team that finished number 10 overall in total defense. Now that is very, very surprising, I know, to some, but I knew personally, I said, look, man, trust the process. These coaches know something that we don't know. And there were a lot of people coming online crying, saying all these different things. But I said, look, we got the master developers. We got the coaches that can get it done. And we got coaches that can produce, that can show these guys how to get these things move and groove as it relates to the defensive line. And now we see guys like Kobe Pepe stepping up, Carlon Jones stepping up, of course, Gavin Myers. We got multiple guys now, and the depth is a lot more than what a lot of people think. And of course, when you got coaches like this, Coach Lynn, and of course, Coach Henderson, you already know that it's straight up go time. The technique that these guys are able to teach is second to none. This is why I said, look, man, for everybody to sit back, trust the process, understand that we got guys that can utilize these guys' gifts and pull out the best of it. And one of the things that I told you guys before, I said, look, if Utah can get the best out of those 3-star guys and really compete with teams all across the country, beat up on Florida last year, beat up on all kinds of guys, even teams like Oregon State who beat up on Florida, they were able to pull out the best out of their players. But, we just didn't have the right coaching staff in place. But these coaches, they develop, and some of the things that Lynn said, he said that we have more depth than UCLA, and that's going to carry over. That's going to work well going into the Big Ten in this straight up go time. And we can't even leave out Coach Newell. Coach Newell, you couple him with some of the other guys as well. Coach Newell, Coach Matt Ince, all of these coaches. Look, we have a second to none defensive staff. And so now we see guys like Bear Alexander, Jamil Muhammad, you name it, David Peavy, we'll see him, Devin Tompkins. The list goes on and on and on with some of the guys that we have, Cameron Fountain. These guys are now being developed, and I told you guys I saw a actual training video where these guys were working, and as a result, I saw where Bear Alexander was working with Coach Henderson, and Coach Henderson actually sent them back to do the rep. I guess according to the way he did it, it looked okay to me, but Coach Henderson said, no, go back, and Bear Alexander did it again. But those are the type of things, just making sure those guys sharpen their tools the correct way. And so now we see USC getting ready to have a big-time defensive line. We can't forget about Nate Clifton either, man. So you guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. But USC is in some incredible shape now when you talk about the defensive line. And it's straight up go time, man. Drop those comments. Hit me. Let me know what you think. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. I'll see you guys in the morning. Fight on, fight on, fight on.